my name's Trish. Today I just want to pop in. I don't normally read today, but I thought I'd come in. I've been getting a lot of emails from people that are also reading on Sebastian Rogers, and I just thought it would be interesting to try to put everything together of what everybody's been getting. I know the sleuths get out there and they put the clues together, but what about if all the readers and the psychics kind of got together and put all their information together and see if there's anything in it? Because here's how I feel about Sebastian. He's working very hard over there. So I remember working with Nicola Bully, and she was very good at working with lots of people, and she really wanted to get a message across. She was very strong with her message. She knew how to play the game. She knew how to work with people, readers, to get her message out there. She worked very hard, and I feel we all failed her. Everybody failed her. Nothing got done about her case. Nothing ever got found out about it. But I thought, what if we can do something where we all kind of work together? I just would hate to see Sebastian Rogers' case go down the same road as, say, Summer Wells or Nicola Bully. Summer Wells never been found. Nicola Bully never got justice. So I just feel like something needs to be done. So I thought I might just read out some of the emails of what people's been getting. Now, Sebastian's been working very hard over there. I've had encounters with him, visiting me in my room, just like Nicola used to. I've had quite clear communication with him. I feel his energy. I feel really overwhelming emotions when I feel him, and he comes through very strongly. I've had dreams about his cases, and so have a lot of other people. A lot of people have been getting visions. I've been getting words, getting pictures and images, and getting dreams. People's cards have been coming through, and some of the things people are telling me about what they're getting with the cards, with these two decks here, just amazing. So I just wanted to share a couple of things with you about those. And I thought, what if we all of us that have these cards in particular, because there's quite a lot of you that watch these videos that have these decks now and read, what if we all read this case, Sebastian Rogers, and we all ask the exact same question in the same way and put it all together and see what we get. See if we can get something together, because I know you shouldn't really ask your spirit team the same question over and over again. You should just take what you get. But if we're all asking our spirit teams the same question, it would be very interesting to see what we get. So I know when we're doing this, we have to be very careful not to accuse anyone or make accusations. So I'm always pretty careful about not mentioning anybody in particular. But the cards are narrowing in on, and it's pretty clear to see. And most people in their visions that they're getting as well, they're getting pretty accurate stuff as well, pretty clear pictures of what's going on here. So I'm going to read through a few of the comments, because there was a few interesting comments. There's some really great questions. Also just some emails that's been sent to me about what people are getting with the decks. And then we'll pose some questions, maybe 3 questions, and we can all read on it over the next couple of days and maybe pull 3 cards each for each question and see what we can come up with. Now, I just want to mention here with these decks here that they have, I've got this card out for a reason, this one here. They all have little numbers or little letters on them. So you got the focus, there's a little letter at the top. So this helps you identify names, also places. And I thought it might be interesting if we could, one of the questions being, what town is he located? Where is he located? Maybe we could get the initial of a town. So, and maybe if we all come up with something similar, maybe it will spell something out, maybe it will give us the initial of that town. So I thought that would be really interesting. So if you have this deck, if you just shuffle through until you get a one, because some of them are numbers and some of them are letters, until you get a card with a letter on it, to see how that goes. That could be one of the questions. Now, not everybody has this deck. Most of you watching, or a lot of you watching, have this deck here, and I thought this is where we could, and we're all getting very similar cards here, really, really similar cards. So with this one here, I've got this one out for a reason. Liana, I won't give your last name or anything, have commented, has been using this deck to ask questions on this case, and she's been getting this card here. So she sat with it for a little while because she couldn't quite work out what it meant. Now these cards are designed to work with your intuition, so you pretty much either take a portion of the image and see if there's something popping out there, or a single word that's written there, or the full phrase, and you work with your intuition. I work them together in a sentence, and I try and place the words from different cards and put them together. So you're never going to get the exact meaning out of a meaning book to say this is what happened to the person from one card. It's all about intuition, and it's about using the cards that come out to piece the words together. So here's what she was getting. Now I don't know if anybody else is going to catch on to this quickly. Now when I designed this card, there was no Sebastian Rogers case. Now if you take a look at that word there, proud, ignoring the rest of the message, just proud, and you look at the letter at the top, what does that almost spell? Now, isn't that interesting? So anybody else, if you're reading this deck and you're getting that, please let me know, and I don't have to name you on here. I don't have a big platform, but I do have a little reach, and I feel if we're kind of all using the same card and getting the same answers, then that's got to mean something. So if you have this deck, if it comes out, please do let me know. Or if you don't know what it means and it's been coming out, in this particular case, I think we now know what this one has identified as, what this card is attaching itself to, the meaning and the answer to that question. So I thought that was really interesting. Another question that I've got here, one of the questions that keep coming up in the comments quite regularly is, I'm just going to read out the comment, just one of the comments, but I've had this comment quite a few times, and this question from quite a few people. It says, Sebastian wanted Chris gone out of the house, and this is in response to the last week's reading that I did on Sebastian, or it could have even been yesterday's reading. It says, oops, not that one, just finished the card reading. Sebastian wanted Chris gone out of the house, and that came out of Chris's own mouth. So I don't always watch the sleuths on all of the cases, so I don't hear everything that's going on. Sometimes I just like to let it come from the cards and then see what happens. So I haven't actually heard that myself, but this comment here, they've heard it from his mouth. It says, can you ask if Chris's mum was involved? Now, this is where you've got to be very careful about accusing people and making accusations. So I don't really name people when I'm reading, but I usually let the cards speak, and usually the family card comes out a lot in this reading. So, and now that we have this new link with this card that's in here, I think it will be easy to make that assumption or distinguish that it's all alleged, all the information that's alleged that comes out of cards, but you do have to be very careful not to make accusations. But for me, when I see the family card come out, that's kind of where I'm thinking in like the family well. Now I also see quite a lot the lovers card comes out, and in this case I always take it, and in most cases I read the lovers card as the couple involved or the relationship involved. So for me, I feel like that is mum and mum's partner for relationship. So because I'm not actually reading today, I'm just more talking about the cards and what everybody else is getting. I'm not actually saying here on the asking a question and this card falls out and I'm making an accusation that this is this person. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that sometimes I'll read it, or most of the time I will read it as this is the couple that's closest to me, or this is I'm identifying the couple or the relationship that's around me, and that's how I've get it. That comes up quite a lot with Sebastian's readings. So a lot of people are wanting to know if family was involved. So I think maybe we could make that another question, and I'll put all the questions in at the end on a chapter. So if you want to just jump through to the chapters, you can. But I think that might be another thing. I don't want to ask questions about how he passed, or I think right now it's more important to have justice and to have him found. So that's really where I want to focus my attention. Now, I'm a really big believer in manifestation and humans as powerful co-creators when we put our energy together. So first and foremost, I think it would be really good if we all put our energy out there and asked our guides to help us, ask our spirit teams to help find Sebastian's body or find Sebastian, and to help with justice here. So I feel because we have let Nicola down, we've let Summer Wells down. I feel like if we could maybe put our energies together, be powerful co-creators, and hopefully we get some kind of outcome with that. Now, when you're manifesting, it's really important that you don't put limitations on your manifestation. So you don't say to your spirit team, can you show me exactly where he is, or can you show me in this way, can you tell me in this way? You cannot put any limitations on it. You just, as far as putting the energy together as a collective and asking our spirit teams to help find Sebastian, I would word that in a way that's not limited, but then we're not giving our spirit teams a way that we want to have the information. We have to not put any conditions on it. So for instance, you would just say, spirit team or God, or however you speak, please bring justice for Sebastian Rogers. Let Sebastian Rogers be found. Another message here that I got was, I don't actually know your name, but you've been reading on Sebastian, and you grabbed your decks and asked each one, is Sebastian dead or alive? And the first card and the second card that came out for each of the decks was the death card. Now, I do get the death card now as well, and I also feel that Sebastian's too strong in spirit to not be passed over. His presence is very powerful when he comes over, and he's working so very hard to try and reach people, and I feel like he has to be passed over. Okay, someone here says, also he is within 30 miles from his home. Also, this is all started in the car on the way home. She believes it started on the way home. Now, I do kind of feel something went on between the day's events to not making it home, maybe. I just feel something happened there. So, and quite a few times it talks about the social event of the day, and maybe something happened from there. I get the drugged card a lot. It comes out pretty much every single read I do. I'll get the drugged and carried card. Head trauma I'm reading here as well. They believe the head trauma. I get the head trauma cards whenever I read this deck. I always get the head trauma cards, but I always get the drugged cards from both decks when I'm reading with these ones. Really important question. Sorry, I've just screenshot here, so I can't actually see who it's from. So it says Sebastian wanted Chris gone out of the house, and that came out of Chris's own mouth. Now I did go through that. Can you please try to get a location? I think that would be a really amazing thing if everybody could work together to get a location. Now on yesterday's reading, I did try to narrow it down from how far away. 100 miles was too far. 50 was on the edge, and it was like a ring between 20 and 50, and the people are saying they're believing it's 30. So I feel like maybe if we could narrow in on, but I didn't go any further than that. So I didn't say, is he 20 miles from the house, or is he less than 20, or is he less than 10? I didn't take it any further. So maybe if you want to do that on your own and as a question to try and locate him, are we looking at, is he 10 miles from home? Is he 20 miles from home? Is he 30 miles from home? But I think it would be great if we all could read with a number, if you've got this deck, and grab the letter of the town and see if we can all get very similar, or spell something out, or if we all get the same letter of the town that Sebastian Rogers is in. A question that comes up a lot, was he passed after the restaurant? Was he passed on to somebody, family, or somebody, Chris? Some of the questions sometimes asked. Now, I think that's a good question. It's a really good question, but I think right now I feel like the most important questions we could be asking is, where is he? How can we get justice? Where is he? Most importantly, more so than how he passed, but who and who did it? And who did it, I think, is another thing which we've got to kind of really be careful about accusing anybody. But you could get, as I said, in that little vicinity, these cards have stranger cards in them. They have all kinds of cards in here. So, was it a couple? Was it a group? Was it family? Was it somebody known to me? These are all inside of this deck. So, as well as stranger or somebody passing through, dark web stuff, all in there. So, if we can all get similar as to who did it, I think that's really important. I'm going to ask a question for the cards now. I'm not really switched on too much or anything, and I'm definitely not in deep. I'm more logical at the moment, but Joyful's been asking for a very long time. She's getting something very similar to what I said in my reading yesterday. she's been getting this for a very long time, is what she says. And that's what I'm saying. If and even if you don't have, because I know Joyful doesn't have the deck yet, even if you don't have the deck, if you're getting visions or you're getting dreams or you're getting words, send it to me. You can send it to me on my email. I will put a link in the bottom what my actual personal email is, or you can go straight to my website and click contact. That comes through to my email as well, or you can message on this video, whatever you're getting. I feel like if we can kind of all put our resources or our collective skills together, maybe we could come up with something. Okay, she's just saying, please ask about a dark green truck. She's seen a dark green truck. So I'm just trying to see which would be the best deck to read here. Okay. Okay, so for not being in deep to get any intuition or anything here, with that card about a dark truck involved in the transport of Sebastian, we're looking at risk taken by a person of interest, maybe from the home. So perhaps he was taken from the home in a dark truck, along a dark dirt road, maybe. Because this is it's also the Fool card, and it's called risk taking. I'm hoping you can see these pictures better now. I'm trying them on the white background so you can see them a little better, but also I've replaced the camera, so it's much clearer, much sharper, much brighter, so you can actually follow along and see what cards I'm getting as well. But my read day will be Monday, so I'll do my proper reading on Monday. I will also ask my questions on Monday. I'm going to ask the same questions that everybody else is asking, and then we'll see if we can get some things put together. So here, with that question, it just says the Fool. There was some risk involved here with this dark truck, if indeed there was a dark truck, a person of interest, and again in the dark from the home. So I think that is a very big possibility. Okay, just want to mention too that I've been getting emails from other readers regarding the Samantha Murphy case, and if we can do something, if this works, then I might look at doing a video and putting together some things around Samantha Murphy as well with the other readers that have been sending me messages. Has had a vision of him on an abandoned job site. That may explain the water and being in deep. So this is an email that I received from Anita. This is what sparked my wanting to do something by putting together what we've all had as visions. Anita had... Let me try and find the original. Okay, Anita had similar vision to me as far as when I had the dream about the tip and something masking the smell. She's had something very similar as well. So I mean, if we can kind of put it all together where what we've had that's been similar, I think that may help us narrow things down a little bit. So this is what my intention is here. By not everybody that has a platform, they're reaching out because they're having visions. Sebastian is working overtime on the other side, trying to bring through clues and visions, and I feel as psychics where we have visions and we're psychic dreamers, I feel it's really important for us on all cases, to be able to give this information and to share this information. And I feel like if you don't have a platform and you're sending me these pictures, I think it's beautiful to be able to try and put it all together and see if we're getting similar visions. So here, Anita, and I've asked permission from Anita if I could read her email out. This started on Monday for her. Again, this Sebastian case has really hit home and her heart as well. It's hit my heart as well. Okay, for those of you that haven't watched me before, I have an autistic child and an adult child, and I feel deeply connected to this case because my heart is very much in it. And when I first tapped into Sebastian, he came through to me in a very intense way, and I cried for a week. I'm not really much of an emotional person, but every time he was with me and I had very visual, vivid images of him when he came through, I could hear him, I could see him, and I could feel him. I felt him in the most intense way. He came through as clearly as Nicola Bully came through for me when she used to come through for me trying to get her message heard. So Sebastian comes through that clearly for me. I do see other ones when I'm reading cases, but some of them come through a little bit stronger, and I feel like the ones that come through stronger is because they've been done an injustice in the way that they've passed, and I feel like they're really wanting the truth to be known. They're wanting justice. So that's why I feel like it's important here for us all to be sharing our visions, because he is working so hard to try and get the message across. And if we can kind of put it together, I know the sleuths will put it together when they're with the actual clues, but as psychics, if we can put together what we're seeing in visions, and perhaps if they're all very similar, then it has to mean something. Okay, so she's telling me in her experience about this, that the hairs stood up on her arms. Now, our hairs on our arms, they're little antennas. They're antennas for when spirit comes in close, and they're also antennas for truth, I believe. So when we're saying something, because spirits come in very close to us and relaying a message to us, and it's a truthful message, and the way we're speaking it is truthful, hairs go on end, or goosebumps, I call it. So sometimes I'll say when I'm reading I'm getting goosebumps, and that's because spirit's coming in close and I'm relaying the message and it's saying this is truthful. So she's had the experience of the goosebumps when spirit has been with her. She saw a hill, not a large one. What I've decided to do is I don't want to give too many visuals to everybody, given that I'm asking you now to tap in and getting your own visions, because I don't want to influence your vision in any way. Now, the part that Anita has said that's very similar to what I get is that she believed she saw him put somewhere too that was masking the smell. So that's what we get, very similar. Now I've decided that I'm not going to read that today, because I don't want to influence you in any way. If you've had visions, please put them in my comments, please send me an email, and we can see if our visions are all being very similar. Reading today, it's not my normal read day, but I thought I've been getting a lot of emails from people that have been reading my cards. A lot of people have got these decks now, and they've been reading on the Sebastian Rogers case as well, and they're getting some really interesting things, getting similar things to me, but getting very interesting things. And I just thought, well, what if we all put our information together and see if we're getting the same things, or see if we can do something about it. So I thought if we could ask questions, the same question, and use these cards, if you've got this deck here, to ask the question and see what we get. So you can tell me what you get, maybe with pull three cards on each question, maybe 3 questions, 3 cards each. Put it in the comments of this video, or send me an email, which I'll put the link down below. I also have, you can go onto my website and hit the contact button. That takes you through to my email as well. So I just thought maybe at this stage, more so than to know what happened to him or how he passed, it's probably more important, for the sake of getting justice, is who is responsible and where he's located. I think that is the most important questions right now. So I thought maybe the first question could be how far, the distance from home. Another question that I feel like we all need to ask in the same way, what is he in? Is he in water? Is he buried in earth? Is he in concrete? Is another one people have said. Is he in a deep hole? Is he buried? Is he in water? Is he dumped? Is he put in something? So, there's probably other ways as well that he could be put. And he could be, and yes, I know he could be put in something and then dumped, or he could be put in something and then dumped in the water, or dumped on somewhere. The main thing I'm trying to get here is if we're all getting that he's in water, or all getting that he's in under something or in something, or if he's in earth, buried, or if he's been dumped in a dumping ground. So we can all ask that question, where is he, what's he in, and see what we come up, either with reading cards, visions that you get, anything you're hearing. What are you hearing, or what are you seeing? What are your visions when you ask that question? Where is Sebastian Rogers? what is he in? Is he in water? Is he in earth? Is he in something? So and see what we get. The other thing is, what town is he located in? And this deck here, as I showed you, has little letters on it. So maybe you could keep pulling till you get a letter of the town that he is located in. Then I think the most important thing is, who did it? Who is responsible? This also has letters on it that you could ask for this one. The initial of the person. See what we get. This one here will tell you, is it a stranger? Is it a deal organised? Was he passed to somebody as a deal organised? Is it a family member? Is it a relationship around him? Is it a complete stranger? There's a whole bunch of scenarios. Is it someone that he knows well is in here as well? So see what we get when we ask, who is responsible? Is it more than one person? Is it two people? Is it a group of people? If we can all ask that question for this deck. So the main questions here, I feel, is who is responsible? Who did it? Where is he located? The town. And what is he in? I think those three questions are the most important. So see how you go with visions, with sounds, with reading. Put your comments down the bottom of this video, or which is where I'll be checking. I'll also check my email, so if you want to email directly, or my website goes straight to my email as well. And I will do my reading for those as well, and I'll put my findings, my answers up that I get as well as reading out what other people are getting as well. Feel free to send me any visions or anything that you have if you don't have your own platform and you've had a vision of him, because he's working very hard. He's out there giving lots of people visions. So if you don't have a platform, send me a message and I'll read it out on that video. I'll read, and you don't have to give me your name if you don't want to. You can use an alias, and I'll be a platform for your message, for what you got, and see if we can all figure it out together. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back next week with this reading. I read on Monday, which for me is 3 days away. So in 3 days I'll be doing the reading and putting all this together. From about 60 hours from when this video goes up, that's when I'll be reading again next. So I'll be asking my questions and I'll be reading out what everybody is getting. So over the next 60 hours, if you could be asking these questions, please don't forget to put the intention out there. Please don't forget to ask guides to locate him, to get justice for him. Most important, if we can all put that intention out there to try and have this case solved. And then let me know what visions you're getting. Let me know what answers you're getting from the cards. I will read them all out in about 60 hours from this video. It's the only way I can kind of describe it, because we're on a completely different time. We're like a full 12 hours or 10 hours ahead from mostly everybody else in the northern hemisphere. So if I just say like in 60 hours, I'll be reading again. So thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully we can work something out together.